Well, it still is Sex Talk Sleepover. Welcome to Sex Talk Sleepover.
Yeah,
we're being cozy.
We're still doing it.
I don't know how the boobs. Anyways.
Boobs always look good.
Thanks.
There's never a moment when they're not looking good.
Oh, yeah, you complimented them yesterday. Okay, well, let's give some sex advice.
Yay.
Okay. Sex advice. Anxiety during sex and performance anxiety. When I'm intimate with my partner, I get a lot of intrusive thoughts and anxiety that I don't have during my day-to-day life. At the end, even if I'm physically satisfied, mentally I'm not, and I feel like I'm missing something, that it was not good enough. I don't know what to do. Thank you for your work. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing.
That's
for sure.
a super fucking thing. For men and women.
For men and women. Performance anxiety, anxiety during sex, putting pressure on yourself to be a certain way or to get a certain outcome is super, super common. One thing I usually suggest right off the bat is just talking to your partner about it. Sometimes our scary thoughts can be like a big shark under the water.
Yeah.
And the moment that they surface, we realize like, oh, they actually aren't as bad as I thought they were. And just voicing it and saying it out loud can relieve a lot of that pressure and stress.
Yeah, they can lose, like, those thoughts can lose their power when they're spoken. I even had that experience recently about a situation where I was like, oh, I just needed to talk to two people about that. And I have so much clarity. Yeah, I think that's very common. I've personally noticed some patterns just in this capacity of like, and you've shared about this when you were on the pod as well, about like for women, it's often self-conscious about the body. At least that's a big one for me. It's like, how does my body look? How does this tummy fat roll look? Like, what's going on? And then it's also worried about the other partner,
Like, do
which
they
you
like
shared
me?
with me. Like, that's really common for the woman. And what I've noticed anxiety with guys is it's often like the length of time it takes. Like, they're worried, like if they go too long and don't come, they get anxiety. If they come too fast, they get anxiety.
And anxiety about staying hard.
Yes. And so I don't know the gender of the person that sent this in, but just to know it's very common for both. I think something that's helped me with that is getting better at expressing like my needs and stuff up front, especially with a newer partner. Like, there's literally specific things. Like, I like to have my partner say like, you're not in any rush to come. Like you're in no rush.
Yeah.
Like, that makes me feel good because
Totally.
I get really self-conscious about the time it takes me to come.
For sure.
So if you're at a place with the person where you can express your needs
Definitely.
up front.
Also, sometimes the racing thoughts and the anxiety is actually a sign that what's happening is not something that you actually want to be doing. So
That's a valid point in some cases.
So like, whether that is because of past negative experiences and it's just your body reacting because it doesn't know the difference between that negative experience and this more safe experience that's happening now, it can't tell. It can't like reconcile that. So slowing way down and going back to the thing that you were doing before that was safer or where you weren't having anxiety, and easing your way into that with baby steps instead of jumping into the thing that you know is giving you anxiety can really, really help.
Right. Yes, definitely. Sex anxiety is real, you guys.
And normal. Very
normal. Okay. Embracing your sexuality. Hi, I recently started following the Libido Fairy, and I'm definitely finding she's helping me with her tips in regards to slowing down, making myself be present, and helping me get in the mood. The thing I'm super uncomfortable with is finding ways to initiate. Whenever I do, it's just rubbing on his body at bedtime, and I'm sure he's bored with it. We have been married for 8 years, and I'm so comfortable with him. But I've always had such a fear of trying to be sexy to get things started. I have lingerie that I've never even put on because I'm too much of a chicken, and I have no idea why. He has never made me feel uncomfortable, and I know he would enjoy it. I just can't get myself to chill out and do anything like that. Do you have any advice with stage fright or initiation?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
It's such a good question.
Aww.
It's so cute.
I know. I got like a very visual.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, you're so cute.
Very cute.
Sex is inherently vulnerable. It is a thing that you're bearing your entire body. You're bearing parts of you that are really sensitive. It's an inherently vulnerable thing. So
Even
it's
8 years
really
into a marriage.
even especially 8 years into a marriage. If you're used to doing something over and over and over, and then you're suddenly like, I'm going to change this thing, or I want to add something new.
Yeah.
That's super risky because you're shaking the unspoken agreements that you have in your relationship of, I'm going to show up this way and you're going to show up this way.
Right.
So, you know, your partner is going to be open to the thing that you're suggesting. This person is
He's
like,
going to be so happy.
yeah. So because it is just a you thing, that's a reckoning with you, with yourself, and getting curious about, okay, what actually about this feels scary to me? Is there something that I could request from him to make it easier? Could I ask about initiation styles that he would like? I'm sure he has ideas about how he wants to be initiated with. Some people like really direct initiation and verbal initiation. Some people like a more subtle initiation style that is the more touching or hand signals. You could send a spicy text message signal that is yours and his
This is
special.
exciting. I'm ovulating right now.
Yeah. You could have something that I really love that my partner and I have is a special light that we turn on in our bedroom. That's like a signal for sex. It's like we call it a toggle. So when we toggle on, it's like, oh, okay, like this is a signal in our environment that says it's time to have sex. So we have this red color changing light in our bedroom that we turn the red light on, and it's like sexy time. So if you were interested in initiating sex, you could agree, oh, we have one light that we turn on that means I'm available or I'm interested. And that light being on could be the open door without.
Or maybe he gets turned on by you like expressing that you want to fuck him. Because what I also hear about longer term relationships is like guys always, like at a certain point they can often feel like they're a burden because maybe their sex drive is higher, or like they don't want to make the long term partner uncomfortable by bringing it up. And so I personally think he's probably going to be like, oh, I would love for you to just let me know that you want to fuck me. And the first thing that popped into my mind was like, I totally get that she wants to like initiate, but just maybe make a plan. Like, hey, I really want to, because also having a plan, there's all this lead up and build up.
Yes.
And be like, hey, tomorrow night or tonight, I want to put on lingerie for you. Like, let him know it's coming. Yeah. You know, because the random surprise of it, if it's not a part of your routine after 8 years, might be like a little off-putting. So just like make it a hot, sexy build up, lead up thing, and he'll be very excited. Yeah.
It's a fine line to walk between planning and anticipation and that putting pressure on the thing to have to happen. Yeah. That happens a lot when I'm telling people, oh, you should schedule intimacy, and they're like, well, I tried that and then it put all this pressure on it and then I didn't want to do it anymore. So if you're going to schedule something and you know you're someone that gets a little stage fright or a little performance anxiety or that you have that pressure, only schedule the thing that you know that you're going to be a yes to. So like, let's schedule naked massages, or let's schedule a cuddle, and let's schedule us talking together in bed, where it's something that's really low-hanging fruit and easier to say yes to no matter what mood you're in. And then it's an open door into what else it could be without expectation.
Fun. And I mean, in all the relationships I've had, it's very rare that I've been like, I'm horny, and the person's been like, I'm not in the mood right now.
If you're a woman, luckily you have
if you're a straight woman dating straight men, in general. And so like it, you know, I kind of get what she's saying too. It reminds me of
bring out the titties.
It reminds me of a past relationship I had where that kind of like the subtle like, starting to massage to like indicate it's gonna sound fucking sexy to him if you're just like, hey babe, I'm really horny right now, I want to fuck you right now, like. And that's the thing I've mentioned about dirty talk and stuff, is dirty talk is kind of just saying what you want to do, what you are gonna do, like. So hey,
there's two kinds of dirty talk. Oh, okay. There's like reporting, which is saying like, oh, this feels so good. I love it when you're doing like in real time while it's happening.
Yeah.
And then there's like fantasy kind of dirty talk where I like, oh, I'm envisioning you doing XYZ to me. And both of those can be really fun. But for most people, the reporting is a lot easier because it's real time,
just
exactly like what you just said. It's like,
gonna sound hot to the turned on brain.
For sure. And if that's too much of a leap to be like, I want to fuck you, I'm horny, I want to fuck you, if that's too far.
Me and my direct dominance over here.
You're like, I'm ovulating, I'm going to say this. If that's too much
direct.
of a leap for this woman who feels really nervous, she could say, I'm having some sexy thoughts.
Yeah.
Could I share them with you?
Oh,
a little bit easier.
There you go.
A little bit more entry level.
Much more long-term married, like normal. Yes. Great.
But I like your suggestion too, though.
Yeah. In a dom moment. Okay, juicy. Opening up the relationship. I had a question which might be unusual. No.
It's probably not.
I walked in here earlier and I was like, Logan, I have a weird request. And he was like, nothing is fucking weird at this point.
Couldn't get weirder.
Can you just sit out there while I record? Like,
couldn't get weirder.
Ooh, cuckold. Fun. Okay. Let's get to the kinky shit.
You're like, this is too soft for me.
Maybe it is unusual. I have a question which might be unusual. I'm not sure, but I'm asking anyways. I'm a cuckold. Is that how you say it? Cuckold? It's a weird word.
Cuckold.
I know, it sounds like
cuckoo.
I'm a cuckold. I'm a cuckold in my relationship, and my partner is a hot wife. Hot. We're not really in an open relationship, just that I share her physically. She has recently expressed her interest in sugar dating. While this has kind of turned me on, and I would love for her to try things, I'm a bit confused whether it would actually work. I don't mind her being affectionate with another guy, and she has confirmed that it's purely for monetary reasons and partly for sexual fun. But should I think of the implications? Am I being careless? I trust her completely, and I'm comfortable with this, but I don't want anything bad to happen to our relationship or get her in an unsafe environment. Any advice on this? Thank you, one of your favorite audiences.
Oh,
I got this one.
Yeah, go for it. That's you.
Okay, well, first of all, like, cuckold hot wife stuff seems hot. I've never done any of it, but hot. So, well, first of all, DM me for my sugar dating masterclass, and I will send it to both of you for free. I did it with a gal I had on the podcast, and we tag teamed with all of our tidbits and advice and
tag teamed.
And so the cool thing about sugar dating is that the guys on there were a lot more normal than I ever imagined. They literally just want the boundaried nature of it, and they want no strings attached. Every fucking guy on his dating seeking arrangements profile says no strings attached, no drama, busy. So they want the girlfriend experience and the sex, and there is the expectation of sex. Just gonna say that because people will always message me and be like, do I have to sleep with them? And I'm like, yes.
Well, that seems to be a good thing for them.
Yeah, for who?
This couple.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
Yeah.
You can report back. I'm into that. It's hot. But that's the thing is I think there might be some concern here of them potentially messing up. It might mess up their relationship. In terms of potentially messing up your relationship, I really think that a lot of the people on there that she would be seeing and meeting with are in that very boundaried way, not interested in something evolving further. People on there are generally not necessarily experienced in the kink and BDSM world, but they're more in that direction because they're already doing something kind of taboo. In terms of safety, I mean, I like to pretty quickly take it from the website to Telegram or an app or my second phone and have a FaceTime or video call and just really vibe with the person's energy there. In general, they might not want to disclose their full identity, LinkedIn profile. You're also going to encounter married people on there. So I don't know. All of that to say, I'm losing my train of thought.
That's okay. Do you want me to pick it up?
Yep, pick it up. We'll take it back.
Yeah, I mean, I think with trying anything new in a relationship, there's inherent risk involved no matter what. No matter what level you're at, whether that's bringing a new toy into the bedroom or playing with sugar daddy sugar baby stuff. Like it comes with inherent risk, and once you open the box, you can't close the box again. So
that's where the valid fear is coming
it's a
from.
valid fear.
Yeah.
That being said, relationships are always changing no matter what. And if you have an agreement up front with your partner that if this veers into territory where it's starting to hurt our relationship or bring us apart in any way, then we both agree to shut it down, no problem. Then that's the only thing that you can do is put that boundary in place and then trust that that's going to happen. And if it doesn't, then.
And like, it can be fucking hot. Like, personally, I learned that I have a huge money kink. Like, getting a large chunk of money from me and my time is like so hot. Yeah. Like, it was hard to, after doing like 6 months of sugar dating, it was really hard for me to like go back to not getting paid to go on dates. I'm not even joking, because I was like, I'm bored. No, but, well, because most first dates, for me at least, end up being just first dates. Like, you know, dating's hard. So
you're like, I'm wasting my time. I could be getting paid for this.
I could be getting paid. But anyways, so like if that's a kink of hers, or like you guys need some extra cash, like it can be really fun. And I have done a good amount of sugar dating, and I've had zero like what I would consider negative experiences. Again, happy to send you my free masterclass, because there is a lot of terminology that you want to be clear on, because you want to show up on the website seeking arrangements specifically as if you've been there before, being like, this is what I do for a ppm, a pay per meet, like this is what I would do for a monthly allowance. Like, you want to kind of, you know what you're talking about. Otherwise somebody might try to take advantage of your time.
Yeah.
But I think, given that you're already doing like cuck hot wife stuff,
you're already doing it for free.
Like, you're already doing kinky ass stuff like this. I think you guys would have.
It's not too far of a leap.
Yeah. If they were like, this is the first thing we want to do, opening up a relationship, I would be like, that.
Well, because of the boundaries, it might actually not be a bad idea. I usually recommend something in the realm of sex work or professionals for the first time that people open their relationship. So it could actually be a pretty good entry point for people who are looking to cuckold for the first time.
Okay.
I've never even thought of that as a recommendation.
Hey, guys, Seeking Arrangements, sponsor us. Oh, man. Okay. As a child, I suffered from trauma, physical and emotional, and I've been in therapy to support my healing. While I've come far, I still struggle with my libido and the core belief that I'm broken in that department. I feel I carry shame around this. My husband and I have good communication skills. He's very supportive and understanding, patient as hell. However, last night when we spoke about our sex life, I explained how I may have found some tools from the libido fairy that could help. I was excited because it's the first time I have found a profile of an influencer who has made me feel seen and understood and offered tools to help.
Is it just a testimonial for me?
Although supportive, he said that he feels like we hit... Oh, no. Although supportive, he said that he feels like we have hit the end of the road sexually. He worries it won't get better because we have had the same conversation every 6 months about the lack of sex. Yeah. While I can have all these revelations and educate myself, I have to focus on doing something about it, not just learning. My question for you: how can I start doing more experiential work? I have to release the shame and guilt I feel, but I don't know how. I feel so stuck.
Yep.
Well, no way to feel shut the fuck down than to hear that.
Yeah.
At the end of the road.
Unfortunately, that's not the first time that I've heard that. A lot of times I'm working with people who come to me as a last resort because they're like, I've tried everything and like, I don't know how to fix my libido, or like, I don't know how to do this. And it's pretty common that the partner is super skeptical and also feels, because they've been rejected so many times, or they've made a lot of requests that haven't been acted upon, they can feel really cynical and feel like this guy where he's like, sure, I don't think that it can get better. I think this is it. And it makes sense that he would want to see a change. Sure. And not only for himself, but obviously for this person too.
Yeah, and what they have together.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think that as far as a place to start action-wise, the education, make no mistake, is action. So educating yourself about your body, educating yourself about libido, reading books, like following people who give good information, like Thea and like I are definitely action. That is action.
Right.
That learning is changing the shame, because when you feel that, oh, there are other people out there that struggle with the same thing as I do. Oh, there are other people out there who are talking about this thing that I thought was so personal, and actually it's not just me. That is changing the nature of the shame, like just by knowing that.
Right.
So that on a fundamental level is action.
Yeah.
The next level above that in like practice of like what it is that you can do, I always say start with self-touch, like masturbation, self-pleasure, like having a space where you're consistently connecting to your body in a pleasurable way, even if it's just like giving yourself hugs, running your fingers and your nails on your skin. Look up, I have a bunch of videos on pleasure mapping.
Ooh, cool.
That is the action that I always recommend people start with.
I think an important thing that you talked about when you're on the podcast as well is like how long it takes for a woman to get aroused. Like, when was the last time he gave you a 30-minute massage or ate your pussy for a half an hour before you decided if you wanted to have sex? Like, that was a big aha moment for me that you shared, of just like most of the time, either all of the month or most of the month, like you're going to want a lot of build up and lead up time for there to be that like exciting arousal, that animalistic feeling. And so I think that could be something to play around with as well.
For sure.
How can he approach this from an angle of giving and service, and without pressure for you to actually want to have sex at the end of it, but sensual massages, whatever it might be.
And I mean, I think to get him on board too and invite him into it, into the action, is really, really important, because especially if he's already cynical about what's happening, if you're only doing all this stuff on your own and not including him in it, it might feel really hard for him to feel like there actually is progress that's being made. So doing sensual massage, doing more of the pleasure mapping with your partner, like those kinds of things are really helpful tools to invite him into the process too.
Yeah. And I don't have any fresh long-term relationship experience, but like, I mean, I think after a certain amount of years, I don't know how long they've been together, it seems like a while, like date night once a month. Like there's so many couples that just like aren't doing that kind of thing. So, when was the last time you got dressed up and went on a date? Or
it's really, really simple stuff makes such a big difference.
Totally.
There's one bonus tip.
The
Gottmans, John and Julie Gottman, are relationship researchers.
Wait, they're a couple?
Yeah, relationship researchers, amazing, great books. All their books are fantastic. Their book, The 8 Dates, is the book that started Taylor and I's relationship. We went through these 8 dates and went through this framework when we started our relationship that aligned all of our values and got all these really deep conversations out of the way really early in our relationship. And we
like
used
your actual first 8 dates?
Yeah. Well, we had a couple dates before that, and then he proposed that we do the 8 dates, and then we did those together. It was really cute.
We love Taylor.
Shout out to Taylor. One of the things that I learned from doing that is they have a section on sex in their book, and something that they talk about is the 6-second kiss.
Ooh.
Yeah. So if you kiss for 6 seconds, that's kind of the threshold where all of the positive chemicals, oxytocin, serotonin, are being released into your body and your brain and connecting you really deeply with your partner. And how many couples out there just do a peck on the cheek or a quick peck on the kiss? And so committing to doing one 6-second kiss every day can completely change your relationship. Yeah.
Cute. Love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yay.
That was a mini,
but we're going to do more. I promise.